How we doing, everyone? If you do not have an OF account, you are absolutely crazy and you're leaving money on the table. It's not even a question in my mind. I'm gonna actually move this over a little bit so we can double up here. There we go. Now I look like I'm talking to everyone at the same time. I am live on two platforms right now. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm excited. This is a conversation that I've had with so many people. And my wife, Mandy, said this is one I definitely have to give out there live to those individuals that want to learn more about how to get ahead financially. I'm Christopher Stacy. I'm excited to see each and every one of you this evening. This is very simple. An OF account might not be what you guys were thinking about. So you need to get your mind out of the gutters, but an OF account is an opportunity fund. Now, let me explain. Let me kind of break it down for you. Now, this is something I go over with people on a daily basis, and it definitely has changed how people look at their money so much. Now, we've got an EF, which is what most of us know about, which is an emergency fund, versus an OF, which is an opportunity fund. Now, an EF, this is like your crash diet and fitness. Oh my goodness, spring is here and spring break's coming up, or I want to be ready for summer. I want that summer body. So I'm going to have no carbs for the next 6 weeks, or I'm going to do 5 hours of cardio a day because I need to get in shape and I need to see my abs again, for the summer. But that's IG, that's instant gratification. You've heard me do videos about this before on how when we leverage or when we only focus on instant gratification or only focus on what we want right at this moment, but we're not planning for the future, it always comes back to bite us in the butt. I'm sure that many of you have gone on those crash diets before, but what happens afterwards? You blow up worse than you were before. And as you get older, your body likes those less and less. Your body responds less and less to that. Guess what? As you get older, your finances are going to do the same thing to you. When you're younger, you can get away with, needing a couple $100 to be able to pay rent. But as you get older, those bills get bigger. So we look at the opportunity fund. The opportunity fund in fitness is like having it as a lifestyle. Choosing the foods, choosing your workouts, choosing your sleeping habits, those types of things are all lifestyle choices, which does take delayed gratification. If you think about it, if you break it down, when I choose not to have, fast food, or I choose not to have that ice cream or whatever it is, and I say, nope, I'm going to wait for this event, or I don't need it because it's not actually helping me achieve my goals. It's the same thing in finance. Do I need to go out to eat, or can I cook at home? Can I probably have a better meal if I cook at home? Do I need that upgraded car right now, or can I do something a little bit lower? Do I need that bigger place right now, or can I wait? There's so many things that we want, but one of my biggest challenges would be, can you wait 24 hours to get it? If in 24 hours you still want it, then maybe it's something that you actually need. But you really have to ask yourself, what is the importance of this item? And is it something that I need right now, or is it something that I don't need and I'm just excited? Or a lot of times, if you compare it to eating, a lot of times when we do those or we need those crash diets, it's because when we were bored, we were eating and we didn't know the difference of the feelings. So how do we fulfill this boredom? I'm going to put food in my mouth and I'm going to eat something because I get that rush from it. It's not necessary, and it's honestly making our lives harder because we don't have that self-control. Delayed gratification takes control. Now, let me show you another option here, another kind of breakdown here. We're told, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, get a 401k, and you should be good. But let me ask you, what percentage of people around you are retiring on only a 401k and they're actually good? They're living the lifestyle you want to live. They're being able to travel. They're being able to do what you'd want to do when you get to retirement. Second part of this, we're told, oh, we have to have a house. But who are the people that decided that having a house is part of the American dream? Go back and do the research. See which two industries were the ones that really started pushing a home as the American dream versus freedom and opportunity. And it just so happens that today is the inauguration day. So we get to see what freedom really looks like. EF, emergency fund. The challenge with an emergency fund, the biggest problem with an emergency fund and why I don't like that language is because usually an emergency fund is because we do not have the funds for what is going on. And oftentimes it's not that big of an emergency, but because we were taught to react every time there's a bill, every time something small happens, that we have to panic, we have to freak out, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, if I save that money, I'm not going to get this dopamine rush. I'm not going to get this cortisol rush that my body's become accustomed to. But is it actually healthy? Is it actually good for you? That's the question. And then lastly, if we get around to it, we'll get life insurance. But that's just a whole nother self-fulfilling prophecy, because if we don't have it, what do we see instead? Instead of life insurance, we see GoFundMe, which again comes back to not having an emergency fund, not having our things taken care of to make sure that our family's set up. And aren't we told that we're supposed to leave a legacy to our children's children? Well, let's think about that OF fund a little bit more. The wealthiest families in the country, example, the Rockefellers, use the waterfall method. So they have life insurance, but not only do they have life insurance on themselves, they have life insurance on their children's children. How does that work out? Well, with those children, with that children's children, they have living benefits for the rest of their life. If you've never heard of those, I'll make another video on it. But they also have a cash value that leverages tax code 7702. It's allowed to grow tax-free. They're able to have access to it down the road. But this life insurance by itself is not necessarily for this child. It's set up now when they pass away in 80, 90, 95 years, there's a guaranteed sum of money that's going to go to the next generation, keeping that family from having to pay additional taxes and making sure that there's always money going forward. After that, it's that OF account. Now, why is this OF account so important? A, if you have 3 months of bills, pretty much no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. You're not going into a stress state of, oh my goodness, I need to take care of this right now, or I'm not going to be able to put food on the table for my family. No, you've got 3 months set aside. And that's usually a good sum of money where you have a lot more relaxation. You're a lot more centered because you're not freaking out about every little thing that happens. We popped a tire. Child wants to go to baseball. This happened. It's okay. It's already, the money's already there. You know it is. You don't obviously have to go make more, but because of this, you're already good. Let's take it a step further. Oh, actually, I'll come back to that step. Then it's, oh, I want to get into real estate, or I want to get into business. But you're looking at it not from a standpoint of a get rich quick scheme, which that's a whole nother video, but you're looking at it from a standpoint of, do I have tax advantage? And do I have the ability to increase my cash flow? That's what the wealthy look at the real estate and businesses for. And then lastly, they're looking at crypto, stocks, and asymmetric risk type investments. Well, what about 401ks? In my experience, the majority of the wealthiest people that I sit with, their focus is not on a 401k, because if you look up what the gentleman who actually created the 401k says about it, I understand why they don't want it. But they also realize there's better options. If your goal is a 7 or 8% return, you can get that in a life insurance policy. It's not guaranteed, but let's be real, neither is your 401k. But they're looking for higher returns with a less risk for their money. That's called asymmetric risk. But let's go back to this OF fund, this opportunity fund. What happens if the stock market takes a hit like 2008, 2001? So many times it's happened in history. On average, it happens every 7 to 10 years. What happens if the real estate market takes a hit? For the majority of middle America, their whole plan comes crashing down. And guess what? We're starting over again. Well, let's look at the other option. Stock market, crypto takes a hit. Okay, well, we know what happens every once in a while. Glad we were positioned well. We were diversified. Real estate market takes a hit, or businesses slow down. Okay, that's hurting. It's rough, but guess what? We have this opportunity fund. We have cash inside of our life insurance that's outpacing inflation. So now when this happens, we're able to go leverage what we have set aside to A, not panic. B, we can double down on marketing if we're a business owner. C, we can take some of that opportunity fund and leverage it like an actual opportunity fund and go buy real estate when it's foreclosed. We can use that and go scoop up some of the stocks, some of the crypto while it's on a true discount. Instead of focusing on not having an emergency fund because we're worried about every single Black Friday sale, every single holiday that these companies can come up with, causing us to be even bigger consumers. Instead, what if we leverage the opportunity fund? We delay our gratification a little bit. We delay that holiday. We delay that big present that somebody might not even need or even deserve yet. But instead, we push it down the road. And now we get to live a life that we wanted versus having a day that probably doesn't really mean that much to us at the moment. And we won't even remember it in 5 years. So one of the biggest things that I recommend to everybody that I sit with is building out that opportunity fund. That opportunity fund and that delayed gratification is going to build a muscle inside of you. When you go to the gym on a consistent basis, you're developing a muscle. When you choose healthier foods versus eating whatever is available to you, that's different as well. That's building a muscle. There's so many things that we do in fitness that definitely cross over. But I would implore you in this 2025, if you said this is the year I'm getting ahead, this is the year that I'm changing my situation. If you can change your mindset from an emergency fund and being, and it's going to sound bad, but being addicted to that rush that you get from every time something's necessary right now, to, hey, we're gonna delay our gratification. We're gonna wait a little bit for that. But because we do, we're gonna get so much more later. And believe me, if you're sitting there saying, well, Chris, who are you? I did all of this wrong. That's why I'm letting you know now. That's why I don't want you to go through what I went through, and understanding that, okay, we delay this a little bit. We push it down the road a little bit. And if you're not sure how to have a budget or how to set up a budget, go back and look at the video that I did last week on Stacks Live. But my goal is to help you do exactly what the wealthiest families are doing and be able to change it so your family doesn't want to buy somebody else's jersey. Instead, they want your last name on the back of their jersey. I hope this benefited you guys. I hope you understand what kind of OF account that I'm talking about, because it's not the other one. But so you understand, and so you can utilize this to put yourself in a position to win and dominate 2025. Have a great night, y'all.